All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
What's up, everybody? We're here to break down the Eagles-Commanders Week 16 matchup. Got a lot to talk about. We are coming to you live Friday night here. Matt, how are we doing?
We're doing great. A bunch of real cool dudes podcasting on a Friday night.
That's for sure.
We should be out partying, man.
I know you and I were talking just before we went live about a lot of uniform stuff. You know, how we always, we're kind of like sickos to that kind of stuff. But got a game here. It's kind of unusual because it's a Saturday night game, essentially.
Yeah.
5 p.m. they play tomorrow. So a little bit out of the norm. But
weird time, weird day. Yeah. It's but it's all, I don't think I've ever seen a 5 o'clock game.
No, usually it's like 4:30, 4:25, 4:30. Usually that's what you get.
Or like a 6:30 on Saturdays. You know what I mean? Like especially during the playoffs. It's just a weird time.
It's weird. It's interesting. But Eagles go down to Landover to battle the Commanders. I'm sure the stadium's going to be 65-35, maybe 70-30 Eagles to Commanders fans, because Commanders, unfortunately, at 4-10, season is over. They have no shot to make the playoffs. They shut down Jaden Daniels. They've had a number of injuries. Laramie Tunsil will not be playing as well. He has been ruled out. Now we go to the Eagles aspect of it. Lane Johnson is not playing this week. Neither is Jalen Carter. I know you had mentioned to me before we went on here that Cam Jurgens is questionable. So there's a
Cam Latu.
Sorry, Cam Latu. My bad.
Yep.
Cam Latu, because he has a stinger.
We have a lot of Cameron.
Yeah, a lot. And the thing with that is we saw EJ Jenkins get elevated today, as you and I were going back and forth on why that could be, and I said because Latu most likely probably won't play, and then of course they wanted another tight end, and then Brandon Johnson is coming up, his first NFL game. It'll be as long as he's not brought up to be inactive, which I don't believe that's going to be the case, but I don't think it'll be his first NFL game. Play mostly on specials, which is usually what's needed, as we've seen with Andre Sand the last couple of weeks. They want that extra safety.
He's
extra
out of
body
elevations, right?
Andre Sam, I believe, is out of elevations. So if they want to get him on the roster, they're going to have to actually put him on the roster. So I want to talk about this game, and I want to bring up it's like deja vu. Eagles are playing another former backup quarterback in Marcus Mariota. And I think, looking at Mariota, I know he was very bad when he was here. But I think he fits the offense that Cliff Kingsbury runs in Washington. He's not a player to kind of, shy away from or say, he's not going to do much for you, because he could beat you with his legs. And that's one thing the defense is going to have to make sure that they're on track, because the Commanders are going to have Debo, they're going to have Terry McLaurin, they're going to have a lot of their playmakers healthy, except for unfortunately Zach Ertz, who is out for the season.
Brutal,
but it sucks to see that. Yeah. But the Eagles defense just has to come to play, do what they did the last couple of weeks here, and I think you're going to have a pretty good showing in terms of the defensive aspect. But there's a lot that goes into this game, man.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's going to be, I know Vic was talking about it a little bit this week. I think one of the keys to the game, and we'll get into it a little bit later, is going to be, like you said, mitigating the damage that Mariota does, not only in the run game,
extending plays.
With extending plays and off-schedule plays. He has done that a couple times this year in the few games that I've watched of theirs. Like you said, he's no slouch. I mean, he's a vet. He's not a Justin Herbert, but if you let him, he'll pull off a Joe Webb game if you let him.
Oh, please don't.
But no, I mean, listen, they're not as bad as their record says, in my opinion. They're at least their offense. Their defense is playing better now that Quinn took over play calling. But I mean, they have weapons. They have Debo, who is not the same player as he was in Washington, but he's still a good player. Their run game has been efficient. They've got a slew of tight ends that can hurt you if you let them with Bates and Sinnott. Their offensive line's a little banged up, and I think that's where the matchup is this week.
Yeah.
But the JCM, their running back, has been kind of a pain in the ass. McNichols has kind of revived his career in Washington. So I think the defense. I think we match up well there on the defensive side of things. I like our defense against almost anybody in the league.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say they scare me in this particular instance, especially with a backup quarterback. But their defense isn't a bunch of slouches either, right? Like I said, they've been playing a lot better in the last couple of weeks under Dan Quinn. Their defensive line is tenacious. Payne is, no pun intended, a pain in the ass. Their linebacking core is pretty decent with Luvu and Wagner. Again, Wagner's not who he was in Seattle, but he's still a pretty good player. Every time I see Luvu's name, I think of him trying to jump over the pile and almost award us a touchdown. But like, they have a decent secondary. I don't know. They're not as bad as their record seems, I think is what I'm trying to say in a long-winded answer.
Yeah, I know they're not as bad as the record say. I think the one thing with them is they're a super veteran laden team. And they're very old. What does that say with a bunch of veterans in your team that's 4-10? I know there's a aspect of, you got to play for pride, and they may know that better than everyone else. But I just I know that they're not as bad as their record shows, but
they're
again,
bad.
They are a very bad defense, a very bad team. They've lost a ton in the secondary. I know they have some younger guys that may be playing a little bit better here and there. And, but I understand, Dan Quinn taking over the play calling has, helped him out, a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you look at them in the last 3 games, so this is just essentially the last 3 games, they're giving up 366 yards per game, which is eighth worst. So it's, 24th in the NFL. If you compare that to last year, they still gave up 341 yards. Their defense wasn't great last year, but the problem was the offense was able to, score them points. They extended drives. They had longer drives. They kept going for it. And the thing about it too is when you look at this game, it's kind of anything goes because they've gotten really nothing to play for, but just to kind of be a thorn in your ass.
Which they would love to be.
Yeah. Listen,
it's like division games. Like, look what happened in the first Giants game.
Yeah.
Like, we went in thinking we were going to run all over them, and then they killed us. This is a short week for us again. It's not a long trip, but it's still a trip. You still don't have your at home ritual and regimen that you would have if it were a home game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't know. I don't want to say it feels like a trap game, but there's a lot for us to lose. There's a lot for us to gain, and nothing. They have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Those are the games that scare me. Is where a team can just go in and go, let's just be a bump in the road for them. Let's just completely knock this off the rails.
So the other thing too I want to bring up is so the rest of the year, the next 3 weeks, the Eagles play against the 28th, which is the Washington Commanders at 136 rushing yards allowed per game, and the Buffalo Bills, who are the 30th, giving up 143 yards per game.
Yeah.
If you look at the rushing yard, basically teams that are bad. The only team the Eagles have played in the bottom section of basically run defenses is the Giants, of course, are 31st, which the one game they had 2 100-yard, probably their best rushing output game, the Giants game at home in their Kelly Greens. Otherwise,
first game against the Giants in the link.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the other one would be the 24th ranked Minnesota Vikings were the other ones. And of course, they played the Bears, the 23rd ranked. So I know the offense as a whole, rushing wise, hasn't been very good at all. But I think you playing these teams, I think to me, I just watching the offense, I think they're doing some different stuff, throwing some different wrinkles in there. So I'm really eager to see what they do tomorrow night and see if they keep evolving the offense in terms of throwing some other stuff out there that we haven't seen, or if we did see little bits of it that were successful that they really didn't bring back. So like different things like that, I'm interested to see what they do and if they run any of that.
So I agree. And that's something that we talked about in the pregame show for the Raiders was, can they continue to build off of what we saw in the Chargers game? Because they were a little bit more innovative. They had some in-breaking routes. Their run game was a little less pedestrian, right? I'd like to see them continue to stack on that, because if you can build that momentum heading into the playoffs, like that's huge. Like this could be a springboard, like it was for the Chiefs in I think it was 5 years ago, when they beat the Niners. Like I think they were like 7-5 at one point and wound up making the playoffs and going on a run and win the Super Bowl. Hold on 1 second.
No, keep going.
Speaking of the ingenuity that we've seen in the offense, there's been a lot of speculation that Scott Loeffler is chirping in the ears a little bit about some of the play calls, specifically in the red zone to Dallas Goedert. Now, we had seen the shovel pass earlier in the year, so I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm talking about. But there were some pretty good designs to the tight end on like mesh routes and things like that they seem to have come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on that. What do you think? Do you think Patullo just woke up? Sirianni has more of a hand in it? Loeffler is being more consultative? What's going on?
So my aspect of it is funny, because when you heard that Sirianni is way more involved, that was before the Los Angeles game. And you saw how aggressive the Eagles were. Unfortunately, you saw a bunch of turnovers. And last week, you saw some differences, some variety, which, we didn't see too much of. Maybe Loeffler is in there doing a little bit more. Maybe he's taken a bigger role in it with Sirianni. They haven't reported that, so that's interesting. Again, maybe we hear something like that coming out soon. I don't know.
Who's the pass game coordinator? Is that the dude from Miami?
I think you're right. Fritz, is it? No, not Fritz. Parks Frazier.
Parks Frazier.
Let me look, because I think you're right. Let me take a look.
Because he was an offensive coordinator for
he is the pass game coordinator.
Okay. And Patullo was last year, which is ironic. So they have Parks Frazier as the pass game coordinator. They have Patullo in there, who used to be in that role. And then they have Loeffler, who is the QB coach, former head coach OC at Bowling Green. Right? I nail that?
Yeah.
So my opinion is that Sirianni said, I'm taking more control of the offense. I think what he meant by that was like, let's talk more about it. Let's be more consultative about it. What's working, what's not working. Call out let's self-scout and tell us the plays that are working or that worked in the last couple of years.
I think you see a little bit of you see some 2022 stuff. You see some stuff in
Well, yeah.
23 that worked offensively. So
You
I think you're seeing
the
some.
offense reminded me of this week was the offense we saw against the Saints.
Okay.
Now we were missing AJ Brown and Smitty at that point, and Goddard had to take over. But we saw a lot of those rub routes and mesh concepts and crossers over the middle. Like that's what I saw. I saw them say, let's attack this. Like it was interesting. I'm very intrigued to see if this continues and if it comes out at some point like, yes, we had Leffler had more of a voice, or Parks Frazier did, or Frank Reich came in with some wah-wah and, shot the shit with us and told him what he saw. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who knows?
So
it'd be interesting.
One other thing I wanted to bring up was, you take a look at the Commanders, and they're 4-10. We've seen them struggle all year. We know they battled injuries. The quarterback's been injured. But I think another thing, too, to really look at it is last year they were middle of the pack. So, they're probably middle. They're middle of the pack in takeaways per game at 1.2. Eagles were first in the NFL at 1.9. Now this year they're 11th at 1.2. But the Commanders are 31st in the NFL, tied for 31st in the NFL with the New York Giants at 0.6. Now, of course, the New York Jets are the worst at 0.2 because I believe they only have like one takeaway or two takeaways all year. So, but Washington's at 0.6.
Wow.
And at, taking the ball away and giving the ball up or giving the ball away. Last year, Washington only had one giveaway per game, which ranked them with basically much of the other teams who were basically good teams. They were in the top part within, let's see, 3, 6. Yeah, they were 9th in the NFL.
Okay.
And then this year, giveaways per game, they are tied for 25th at 1.4. So again,
and what are we?
Giveaways per game, we are 7th at 0.9.
Okay.
That 5 turnover game
got them up. Yeah.
Really skewed those numbers.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think too is when you take a look, Detroit's first in the NFL
in both
at 0.6 giveaways. But I don't believe they're taking the ball away as much. They have their own issues, whatever. But like when you look at the giveaways per game, and of course it's going to be that way. You're going to have all the teams who are winning up there. The Chicagos, the Houstons, the Green Bays, Tampa Bays, Rams, Eagles. That's what you have. But there is a tail right there. Is they're not taking the ball away, and they're giving it up more than they did last year. So the recipe is there for them to struggle. And the thing is, if the Eagles are going to go ahead and go into Washington, and if they get a turnover or two, and just like, if you really think about it, look at the NFC Championship game last year. The Eagles took the ball away multiple times.
Yeah. There was they had a couple
huge
really nice drives.
Emphasis. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That first, it was like a 17-play drive or something to start the game. I was like,
and they got a field goal out of it. I thought that was a win.
Yeah, 100%. When we held them to a field goal, I was like, it's over. And especially after that Saquon run, like the first play of the game. But no, I mean, I was thinking about that today. Funny that you brought it up. Is like, the defense last year was so much more opportunistic with the ball, and I don't know if it's that teams are just more cognizant of it against us now, or if we're just not. I think a lot of turnover stuff is luck.
Yeah, a lot of it's right place, right time.
Right. But some of that's also coaching, right? And is the player there in the right place at the right time? Are they where they're supposed to be? Are they following the ball? That's why Makuba is so good in his early career, because he's always where he's supposed to be and he's always hustling to the ball. I'd like to see us get some more turnovers this week and build some of this momentum. Like that, I think that's the key to every game, but like one of my keys to this game is to continue to win the turnover game.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think you're right when you look at that. Like that's what you want to do. You want to be able to be successful because they were able to do that early in the year, and that's what we saw. And I think too is like the way the defense, like for me watching the defense, like I know the Chicago game was, a debacle, not being able to stop the run and everything. But that happens. You have that happen. But if you look at a whole, if you just take a look at this defense, they've been getting better and better. Like we know what Zach Bond's doing. And quietly, he's having all-pro type of season. If you really think of it, you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Nakobe seems to be getting better and better each game. The more he gets healthy.
Mario, yeah.
Same with Nolan Smith. Seems like he's starting to get better and better with the more reps, the more games because he's been out and everything. Jalen Phillips, still like came in. Yeah, I know he knew Vic's defense, but learning the guys, learning where they're going to be. Like same thing with Adoree Jackson. Like knowing these guys, learning this, like. They're starting to hit their stride. And like some of these players are starting to break out, these younger guys that we're seeing. Like you're seeing Jalex Hunt. You're seeing him put pressure on the quarterback. You're seeing Moro Jomo do what he does. You're seeing Jordan Davis keep playing more snaps than he's ever played. You have a guy like Byron Young who can step in and play.
The league, Jordan Davis leads the league in tackles for a defensive tackle, and he's been double teamed 72% of the time. That's insane. That's an insane stat.
He's playing at a hell of an elite level, of course.
Well, and then you add in Brandon Graham finding the Mountain of Youth last week and having 2 sacks and 7 snaps.
And again, we've talked about him. Marcus Epps has been a hell of an addition to have him, to be able to get him back off of IR, have him in there. He started games before. He's familiar with in that role of playing starting safety. Yeah. Like he's played with Reed before, played with him. I believe in 2021 and 2022, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit of both. But the other thing I wanted to bring up, and it goes with the guy that I have on the screen there in Quinyon Mitchell. And I think one of the craziest things is when you take a look like at his advanced stats, like to be giving up a 62.6 quarterback rating, and you have 0 interceptions. Yeah. To me, that is unreal. Like interceptions is going to help you lower quarterback ratings.
He only has hands in the postseason.
Yeah.
Which
I'm okay with that, but
even with him, it's like he's one of the most. I think he is the most targeted cornerback in the NFL. Which is mind blowing to me when you employ Adoree Jackson on the other side.
I'm going to give you this though.
Yeah.
If you take a look at the guy who's leading the NFL in interceptions, which is former Eagle Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
His quarterback rating. I know he's a safety. I know something's different. All that. I get that. But this is just me putting the point of he's got 6 interceptions. Interceptions really throw the quarterback rating. He's giving up a quarterback rating of 92.8.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just what he's doing is just unreal in just the way that, like, and that's why I want to put it like that. It's insane.
I think he's one of the more underrated players in the NFL right now. Or maybe not underrated, underappreciated players.
Yeah.
With what he's able to do. And I wonder if a lot of it has to do with Vic switching him to the boundary side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take away his athleticism because that's not an issue with him, but it certainly narrows the field for him, right? It allows him to contain folks to the sideline and use the sideline as another defender. I wonder if that has something to do with it. I mean, Vic brought that up that, that they were thrilled that they were going to move him to the boundary and they've seen a significant improvement. It is interesting though, that you would put him in, that you would expose Adoree Jackson to 2 Wigos like you would. It's just, I don't know. The whole thing is so interesting to me that he's the most targeted. he's one of the best coverage guys in the NFL. He's proven it this year, and that people refuse to attack whoever cornerback 2 is for this team.
Yeah, you would think that they'd
Ringo
be.
was out there, and I think Ringo was out there for a game for 2 or 3 games and got targeted like twice. Like that.
You think he'd be the person you'd be definitely targeting?
Yeah. Just listen to our talk radio, and you would know to go after Ringo. It's just, I don't know. I'm on a tangent here.
So I want to give you this one though. Taking a look at a cornerback that is, I think he's second in the NFL in interceptions. He's a hell of a cornerback, J.C. Horn.
Yeah,
he's got 5 interceptions, 46.6 completion percentage. He's given up, which is close to kind of Quinion. He's got a 70.9 quarterback rating, and that is because he's given up 6 passing touchdowns. He's given up 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So if I go ahead and I take a look at Quinion Mitchell, okay, and essentially he's got 79 targets. J.C. Horn only has 58 targets. So if I go ahead and put these numbers in, like the same thing as what J.C. Horn, like if I add 5 interceptions to Quinion,
yeah.
So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll tell you what his passer rating would be. It's going to be, so it says here Quinion's given up 1 touchdown. That's
Which
what they
is not
say.
correct.
But this is through Pro Football Reference. That's what I'm going off of. Quinion's passer rating, if he had 5 interceptions like J.C. Horn or some of the leaders, his passer rating would be 36.2.
Holy shit.
So, he's dropped but he has dropped his passer rating. Last year was 87.2. It's been dropped down to 62.6 right now.
And he's been targeted probably twice as much.
He's been targeted 4 more times than all of last year, and there's still 3 games left. He played 16 games last year. So there's essentially 2 more games till he reaches that 16. So if he's targeted, say 4 to 7 times or 5 times, that's 10. So he's going to be well over the targeted amount.
Yeah.
It's just what he's doing is, it's crazy for how good he is and how far he fell in the draft. And for the Eagles to be able to grab him, and be able to grab Coop as well. It just shows you
the top slot corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
What I just sent you a stat about him recently.
Missed tackle percentage of 3.7. Out of 79 tackles, he has 3 missed tackles.
Well, he didn't miss tackling Nicky Bella. I'll tell you that much. He got that
but
one.
He's down 10% from last year. Last year he had 8 missed tackles. 13.6% last year. Coop, he's down to 3.7%. He dropped his percentage of missed tackle percentage rate 10%.
That coverage rep he had against the Chargers against McConkey.
Yeah. It was like, that's like textbook. Like that's what you do. You take that and you show that in a defensive back room.
It was unreal.
But no, it's going to be an interesting game, of course. Any divisional matchup will be. And again, if the Eagles do win, they will become the first back-to-back NFC East champion for the first time in 21 years. When the Eagles did it they did it in 2003 and 2004.
Yeah.
And the Eagles will be the first team to do that since then, which is crazy to think about if you really think about that.
Yeah.
It's been over 20 years.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty wild. I'm glad that we can be the one to break it twice, hopefully.
Yeah, I know.
So here we go. Cooper DeJean. This is the one I was looking for. 340 coverage snaps in the slot. First in the NFL. 11.7 target rate. 11.7% target rate. And a 62.4 rating when targeted. And it's the video is a video of him strapping Lad McConkey that exact play that we were talking about.
Wow.
And then it's him and Nicky Bella. He's having a hell of a year, man.
Yeah. Well, believe me, he is. Yeah, it's great to see.
I'd like to see him get another pick. I'd like to see either one of them get a pick.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it too. Pad those stats, make them look even better because we see what they're doing. They're balling out. But this brings us to a fun segment that we have, and that would be the Eureka Locks.
It's time for the Eureka Locks of the week. Who's your lock?
Alrighty. So we hit on our locks, both of us, which is pretty rarefied air. You had Jake going 100% on his field goals, which he did on his field goals and his extra points, so that's good for you. I had Navy beating Army, and they did by 1 point, so we both hit those. I'm going to let you go with your Eureka lock first.
My lock is that someone's going to throw a backwards pass fumble for a 2-point conversion this week. That was nuts, man. That Seahawks-Rams game was absolutely insane.
That was crazy.
I
was going to say, you're a day late on that.
Am I? Or am I just...
Day late and $1 short.
So I'm going to go with a one of my keys to the game here. The last 2 weeks, we have played some banged-up offensive lines. Our young guys, as we talked about, with Jalix Hunt, with Nolan Smith, with Moro Jomo, the old cat Unk, Brandon Graham has been ripping it up lately. We have had 7 sacks and 5 sacks in the last 2 games. I'm going to go with that we do not have less than 4 sacks in this game.
Okay.
So 4+ sacks for the Eagles defense.
So I'm somewhat on your wavelength there, but I'm going with a player in general.
Ooh.
And I'm going Jalen Phillips, and I believe he's going to have at least 1.5 sacks.
Hell yeah.
He's going up against rookie Josh Connolly, who's struggled, to say the least.
Oregon dude?
Oregon dude, that is correct. He struggled. Now, on the other side, Laramie Tunsil is not playing. It's going to be Brandon Coleman. So, some inexperience there on the tackles for Washington. And Phillips, I know he hasn't been making many big-time sacks and everything the last couple of weeks, but I think this is where he breaks
He's affecting
through.
the passer, though. Like, I do want to give him
he is, but
that pick. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm laying it down that he's going to make a difference and get it done.
I agree. I like it. My other hot take, if I can speak, I have a I'm probably going to get smoked for this, and I'm probably going to be way off. I think JMU is going to upset Oregon.
My initials are JMU, so
I think JMU is going to upset Oregon. I got the Dukes beating Oregon tomorrow night.
I could see it. Listen, I could definitely see it.
I just feel like I just hate Oregon so much. I really do. I love their uniforms, but there's something, Kraft put it perfectly for Penn State. They're a bunch of fucking weirdos. I think JMU comes and beats them down.
Yeah.
To start the college playoffs. I want to go on the record saying it. I'm probably going to eat crow.
It'll be 56-10.
But if I'm right, it's probably going to be a shutout, 70-0 or something. But if I'm right, I'm going to look like a genius.
Hey, we'll see. I'm hoping the same thing too. Which now brings us to our predictions.
Hell yeah!
And I'll start it off here. I think the Eagles are going to be able to control the game. I think the offense is going to keep them going. I have the Eagles winning this game 27-17.
Okay.
Listen, I could see them up 27-10 and, late in the game and they decide to sit everyone and, maybe Washington gets a late touchdown, but I think it's going to be 27-17 ball game. I know they're rivals. I know it's a divisional game, but I just think the Eagles are going to be too much for Washington. And I expect the Eagles to get the win, essentially in front of a home crowd, because I think it's going to be a ton of green in that stadium.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have a very similar score. I have a very similar vibe. I'm riding the positivity. I said I was like way too optimistic after that Chargers game. I like what we did against the Raiders. I know it's the Raiders, but they still have to play who's in front of them. This is another struggling, banged up team. I think we go in and we win 31-17.
Okay.
I think to your point, I think it's going to be another like 31-10. We pull Jalen, we put in a bunch of backups, and they have some bullshit garbage time Deebo Samuel sweep or something.
Yeah, we'll see. There's going to be a lot of good football. Started off last night with two really good teams in the Rams and the Seahawks, and then we get the Eagles play tomorrow, and then the nightcap of Saturday night is the Packers-Bears. So it's going to be pretty big matchup
college
there.
Football on too, man.
And there is good college football too. The playoffs start, so there's a lot going on with that as well.
Yeah, what do we have? Tulane, Oklahoma? Is that right?
No,
Tulane and
Alabama's playing. I think Tulane. Aren't they playing Ole Miss?
Tulane, Ole Miss, and then you got the Eagles at 5. You got JMU and Oregon at 7. You got Villanova playing in the semifinals.
You know the funny thing is, the last time.
Lehigh?
Nah, not Duquesne either.
We were never going to be there. Let's be honest.
The last time Villanova played a semifinal game to get into the championship game, I remember I was actually at that game in 2009.
No way.
Yeah, and they won to go to the national championship, and I believe they actually won the national championship that year.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be the Patriot League, Villanova Wildcats. So it's
who are they playing?
They are playing Illinois State, who upset number 1, the 1-seeded North Dakota Bison.
Really?
So, North Dakota State Bison.
North Dakota State goes down?
Yeah, they beat them.
And Nova beat Tarleton and Lehigh, which were two of the top teams. So
yeah, they've got a solid squad. They got a very veteran-laden squad.
Might be a good game.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And Illinois State was one of the last teams in that got in, one of the last at-larges. So,
all right, well, let's go Nova, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to
the
Nova.
other cool thing is they have cheap food. They're doing like $2 dogs and $2
dollar beers. Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
That's the way it should be, man. That's the way all sports should be.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Not $17.50 for some crab fries. Jeffrey Lurie. Get your shit together, dude. Thank you. $4 for a cup of cheese, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying for beer, but I think food should be cheaper.
Yeah. Should be like at the Atlanta Falcons. Everything is, a couple bucks, $4, $5. That's what it should be. People struggle enough trying to,
dude,
make ends
I'm
meet.
not going to be able to afford to go to games soon. So they need, whatever.
But as we like to say, thank everyone for joining us. Make sure you're following everything. All the socials are at the bottom there.
Sorry for going on a tangent, everybody.
It's okay. Don't worry. I'm sure many feel that way, including myself. So you don't have to worry about that. But make sure you're following everything. Make sure you are subscribing. Hit the link tree. But with that, as we always do, we always end it with a very happy and joyful Go Birds.
Go Birds.
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.